more relations, I just want to give a bit of brief background about both countries. Russia is the largest country in the world, covering 17.1 million square kilometres, extending nearly halfway around the northern hemisphere and covering much of eastern and northern Eastern Europe, as well as the whole of northern Asia. Of a population of about 445.5 million, nearly 80% are concentrated in western Russia. Moscow is the largest city in Europe, has a population of 11 people, and St. Petersburg has 5 million inhabitants. Around two-thirds of the population now live in cities. The population size is currently in decline. The United States of America is in North America. It is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean and lies between Canada and Mexico. The state of Alaska to the west of Canada and Hawaii in the central Pacific Ocean became states in 1959. The Commonwealth of Puerto Rico in the Caribbean is a dependent of the USA but retains Commonwealth status. The United States Virgin Islands is a US Caribbean territory. The US also has territories in Oceania. The population of the USA was estimated at 301,139,947 in 2007, and the capital city is Washington, D.C. United States of America is made up of 50 states and 1 district. For a direct military engagement between the US and the Soviet Union, there was half a century of military build-up and political battles for support around the world, including significant involvement of allied and satellite nations in local third-party wars. Although the US and Soviet Union had been allied against the Axis powers, the two sides differed on how to reconstruct the post-war world even before the end of World War II. Over the following decade, the Cold War spread outside Europe to every region of the world as the US sought the containment of communism and forged numerous alliances to this end.
Ciaran, how do you spell your name?
Ciaran. Ladies, gentlemen, and Mike. It has become apparent, particularly during the recent US presidential candidate campaigns, that celebrities and media figures hold strong political influence among the US electorate. It is also becoming apparent that celebrities have become more and more involved in political issues throughout the world, particularly in the United States. In the race for the Democratic Party nomination, Senator Barack Obama received endorsements from in excess of 150 actors, comedians, singers and entertainers, as well as other media personalities, including Samuel L. Jackson, 50 Cent, John Cleese, Jennifer Aniston and George Clooney. Senator Hillary Clinton was endorsed by the likes of Michael Douglas, Sir Elton John, Madonna and Jack Nicholson. These celebrity endorsements proved effective in that both Senator Clinton and Senator Obama ended up as the last candidates for the Democratic nomination, ahead of their opponents who had little in way of celebrity support. The media and the popularity of celebrities for political causes is not only limited to the United States presidential election. Celebrities are frequently used by political outlets, and celebrities often comment on contemporary political issues in hope that their celebrity status may attach more weight to the cause. George Clooney, for example, is known for using his status to allow him to comment on issues he feels strongly about. Issues that Clooney has commented on include the Iraq War, with Clooney saying, "You can't beat your enemy anymore through wars. Instead, you create an entire generation of people seeking revenge. These days, it only matters who's in charge. Right now, that's us. For a while at least. Our opponents are going to resort to car bombs and suicide attacks because they have no other way to win. I believe Rumsfeld thinks this is a war that can be won, but there is no such thing anymore." Winning actor Schwarzenegger won office by gaining nearly 49% of the electorate vote, beating his nearest opponent by a margin of nearly 1.5 million votes. Since that time, Arnold has had to deal with a number of very serious issues, vetoing a bill in 2005 which would have allowed same-sex marriages in the state of California, and denying clemency to the reportedly reformed murderer Stanley Tucky Williams. In closing, I have found that the political influence that the cult of celebrity has amassed is wide-reaching. with voters and issues often swayed by the actions of entertainers, singers and actors. From the passive commentary of Clooney to the governorship of Schwarzenegger to the support and endorsement of Ric Flair, the political landscape of America is often shaped, at least in part, by the cult of celebrity.
The topic of research is about religion and politics in America, specifically the role of the church and the state. I chose this really because I'm kind of interested in things like that, like religion and stuff, and that's mainly it. Anyway, in America, they're supposed to have a separation of church and state, and that's enshrined from the First Amendment in the US Constitution, which reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. The Freedom from Religion Foundation, Pope John Paul II stated that healthcare providers are morally bound to provide food and water to patients in persistent vegetative states. This led to a challenge in 2005 by Ciaran's parents, who requested that a new trial about whether their daughter, as a devout Catholic, would wish to go against the Church's teaching. David Gibbs, the lead lawyer for Terry Ciaran's parents, supported Vatican statements which condemned her treatment as euthanasia. However, the judge rejected their request. There are also other disputes over religion and the state in America. For instance, the use of the now official American motto, In God We Trust, on currency. Some argue that the First Amendment and the wall of separation between church and state require that the motto be removed from all governmental use, including on coins and paper money. They argue that religious freedom includes the right not to believe in the existence of deities, and that the original pledge was formulated by Francis Bellamy, a Baptist minister. I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In 1954, the final change was to be made to the pledge was the inclusion of the words under God. The pledge now reads, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There's been much controversy over this, with even some people of religious authority against the inclusion. In 2002, Reverend Barry Lynn stated his view to CNN. I happen to like the Pledge of Allegiance. I like the original one, written back in 1892 by a minister who didn't feel it was necessary to use the word God because he was writing a patriotic statement for the country. Back in 1954, we got a little bit politically correct during the McCarthy era. Everybody had to prove not just that they loved America, but also that they loved God. We got patriotism and religion confused. However, one of the main arguments for the inclusion of the words is that polls show that at least 80% of Americans support it, and that federal law already contains 22 references to God.